Hey guys, welcome back to Busted to Built. Today we got the Tahoe in here. We're gonna get a bumper on the back end of this thing. So we got no protection back here. I was so confident we were up high enough. We're never gonna hit nothing. That's usually the case unless you're up against something that's totally upright, in which you'll just back right into it. So I don't know when I got this here, but got a little Densky, so we're going to get a little protection back here. We're going to try and wrap this around. I'm going to just try and get this out and dedicate some time to this and see how it all turns out. But just dealing with some 2x6 square tube, 1/8 inch wall. I'm more of a quarter wall man typically, but this is what I had. And if it works, it works. And if it don't, we'll cut it off and go back again. So, and I got this other piece all hacked out right here. Let's get this guy up here. Then I'm going to fill that in. And then just kind of mimic it the whole way around and see if that turns into a bumper when we're done. And then, yeah, just make it so we can hit stuff with it, hard enough. So just trying to get ready for a trip I got coming up this summer. And then, too much talking, let's get to work. Alright, current status here. Got this old girl welded up. And so it's just kind of the structure. And then I'm making some little brackets here. Gonna get these welded on. That'll get it to sit about where it wants. A little ledge there for it to rest on so I don't have to dilly with it a whole lot. And so we'll get it up here and see exactly where it needs to fit. Then I gotta get another one of these brackets made up here. Pop it on over here. Then we can weld the bumper on. I wasn't a big fan of welding it on. I'd like to be able to remove it, but I also want to be able to bash it against a rock and know that it will just stay there. And then if I go to unbolt it after I bash on all these rocks, it's never going to bolt back on there. So I'll just weld it on and everything can twist and warp and do whatever it needs to do all together. So we'll just keep going here. And that's what I got so far. The bulk of it. So if you think it looks cool, put it in the comments. If you think it sucks, put it in the comments. But yeah, I like how that's all turning out there. So that's going to be pretty rigid. Just making sure I like how it sits. So I just got her tacked here on these little L brackets. But I think it's going to be alright. Say even with just the tacks on it, it's good and sturdy. There ain't no deflection in it right there. So that's pretty good. I was thinking it was going to be a lot more twisty, what have you, than it is. Otherwise, I think what I'll do here, once I get it figured out exactly if this is how I want it, I'll probably triangulate a couple tubes off the frame. So one up here, draw a little circle. One down here, draw a little circle. So a little tubular. And like I say, they'll kind of triangulate over here into the kind of the same spot. So that way if I drop down on a rock, this thing will be able to support the whole weight of the truck without coming up into the body or doing anything. So we'll see how that all turns out. But this little taper I put here, I like how that turned out there. So we'll get this all ground up and sanded down, and it should look pretty sweet. But just wanted to get it on there for right now. So got my mess here to clean up, and then we'll get back at it when we get a second. Well, guys, I think that's the gist of it right there anyways. So we got it all framed out and kind of trimmed out too, I guess. So I just put this plate on top right here, kind of make everything come together so there's not just a big gap back here between the hatch and the bumper. So that's all pretty much what we're dealing with there. What we're going to be, I've kind of got everything sanded down over here on this side and working on cleaning up some of these welds over here yet, but we got everything shaped up. I did get a couple tubes welded on each side to reinforce those outers. So like I say, if I drop down onto something, hopefully that's never an issue. And that bumper can take whatever hit it needs to, but I really like how that turned out. Let's shut the hatch on it. Move my junk. And so that's what I'll look like going down the road or trail or wherever you might find me. But this thing came together pretty fast and turned out pretty nice. That's kind of how I wanted it. So It's kind of gaudy from the back here. It just looks like it's hanging off the sides big time, but as soon as you look at it from the front, you can't even see it. So it's just one of them deals, you know. So anyway, I like the reveal on it from the front and the side. But yeah, the back for some reason just seems to look gaudy. Maybe if I get some paint on it, that'll help. But anyways, I know one thing though, I'm getting really good at destroying steel real fast. I gotta clean up here real quick and get this sanded down like I say, and then we'll spray some black on it, make it all one color, make it match the front, and we'll just have one more thing done on this thing. Chick! But anyways, we gotta do it for it to happen. Let's do it. Alright guys, got her all cleaned up here and shined up. Looks pretty fancy now. And I put this little added outfit here, give me a little reinforcement right in the middle in case, you know, I actually hit something with it. Want to make sure it isn't just for show. So I got that all taken care of, and so it should be ready for paint now. I thought maybe before we do that, let me roll my trans jack under here, maybe we give it a little deflection test first and see how she does here. Alright, hopefully that's good enough angle for you guys. We'll see, huh? Yeah, let's see if this moves on the body at all here. Yeah, my jack's settling already, but yeah, that baby didn't move at all. That's pretty stout right there. Hanging on there just like she ought to. Good and proper. Figure we might as well test it while we're here in this controlled environment and I don't have a whole bunch of people laughing at me as it falls off, you know. So this is a good opportunity for this instead of doing it on the trail on a rock or something, but I think it's gonna be able to do the trick. It's she's plenty stout. That old 1/8 inch is doing the trick. I didn't think it was gonna hold up. I figured I'd do this and it'd be like a pop can folding up. So that's pretty good. Let's get her down and let's get this thing ready for some paint. It's a new morning in the shop here. We got this thing all plasticed off, masked off. Best we're going to, you know, it's like a half mask job back here, you know. So anyways, just cleaned up enough that we're gonna get some black on this, and we're not gonna worry about overspray too much. That's gonna make everything that's rusty or dirty look that much cleaner, that much less washing to do. We'll just lock all that dirt right in. Good set of Rusto on tour here. But anyways, I really like how this thing turned out. And so we're gonna get some paint onto it now. Oh, I guess I lied. I'm out of Rust-Oleum, so this will be some magic tractor and implement we're gonna throw onto her and just make it one color here, and then she'll be ready to rip. So we got off-road event going to Rocks and Valleys this weekend. So you'll probably see this the week after that happens, but I just want this baby to be ready. We gotta keep getting it outfitted, you know. So don't want to get stagnant with it and let things just be the way they are. I intended it for it to be one way, and we got to make it that way. So let's get it black. let that dry up a little bit, and that turned out pretty sharp. So anyways, there's a little bit of rust still here. I didn't clean it up super crazy, and that rust sucked that paint right up, that's for sure. But anyways, we got a little something on it now, so I dig it. Now we just gotta unwrap this Christmas present, see what she looks like, you know, natural. And would you look at that? It's not even the same Tahoe. I washed it. Doesn't it look spectacular? I think so. Had to sit for a couple months with a bunch of dirt on it. So, and I suspect that the hood, this fender, and this door must have been repainted at some point because the mud stained those three panels terribly. Like you could obviously see, and you can still see. I mean, this is extremely dull and kind of mud. And then if you look back here at that passenger rear door, the contrast is way different. That's just shiny and clear, dull, kind of poo colored. So anyways, maybe one day I'll buff that down so that way that dirt flavor gets off of there. But for now, it just is what it is. I gave it a good scrub with the bubbles and the brush, and it come out pretty white. So anyways, this is the cleanest it's been in a minute. And then the unfortunate thing about washing the Tahoe is that my freshly painted bumper, it got some debris on it. So got a little crud on it, but now I washed the new off of there, so nobody's going to question. That's going to look like it came factory on it now. It's got the mud patinas, everything else. So this thing's 100% ready to go now. So anyways, I'm ready for my event that I was blabbering about for this weekend. It's 2 days away now, so got her done just in time. So gonna go out there and meet some new friends, see some old friends, see some familiar faces, and hopefully have a good time. So weather's supposed to be killer out there this weekend, like almost 70. Gonna be rainy, but you know, we're indoors, so I appreciate you guys watching, and like I've been mentioning, we are on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to check us out, it's just Busted to Built. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like the content, if you'd like to think about subscribing, liking, maybe leave a comment if you got something to question or just want to say, hey, good job, which I don't get very often, but it'd be cool if you said it. Thanks for watching. Okay, and if you're watching this far still, one thing I did want to talk about, kind of closing thoughts here, was that this tube right here does not match the tube on the other side. The other side, I threw that one in here level, and it ended up being, I just kind of ended up mounting on the side of the frame, right in the middle of the frames where that landed, and come right out to the bottom, same spot out here. But I was right in the middle over here. I come over this side, and I forgot that I had gotten all custom with my body mount there, you know, so that's a little Western in there. So I ended up running this one at an angle, and then basically there just wasn't enough room in here for me to feel confident getting a welder to put two tubes in. And after I tested it with my deflection with the trans jack, I felt pretty confident that just the one tube would do the trick. And if I messed it up bad enough that I screw this up, I guess that's going to be just you know, you learn. So anyways, thanks again, guys.